It's not a decisive take to say that anime games have been at an unpredictable level of quality as of late. We've seen titles like Fighter Z cement their legacy in fighting game history, and not only becoming one of the most watched fighting games in the FGC history, but also standing leagues ahead of its fighting game competitors such as Street Fighter V and MK11. I said it, you can fight me. Yo, but before we get into this, if you are a fan of anime games, go ahead and press that subscribe button, and let's continue. Now, as I mentioned, we talked about the successes, but with the natural law of yin and yang, with the good must come the bad. It's the natural balance and order of things. But with anime games, we have truly seen no shortage on the other side of the coin. Many of us have lost hope, but there still remains a chance, a catalyst that could change everything. For us to understand this remaster, we need to go back to 2013 when it was first released. When it was first released at the time, Jojos was not the massive media giant like it is today. In fact, the first part was the only part that was out for the anime. But even way back then and today in 2022, one thing has remained the same. It has the most crazy, core, loyal fan base I have ever seen. It literally makes God jealous with how strong it has a grip over its fans. The game was immediately written off and expected not to sell well, but the opposite in fact happened. And in the year 2013, it was competing with some of the best games of all time. We're talking GTA, we're talking The Last of Us, Battlefield 4, Super Mario 3D World. And this game with such a small niche fan base somehow locked in over 500,000 pre-orders. That's pretty bizarre, I gotta say. Y'all know I was gonna have to throw that one in there once, but seriously, now that you understand the atmosphere, let's get to the reception of the game. The game was praised pretty well. The gameplay resembled the theme of the anime, quirky, action-packed, flashy, flamboyant even. Each character was as flashy as their playstyle, as crazy as their personality. Johnny Joestar, for example, is a paraplegic, but he can summon his horse to move. What fighting game do you get this sort of creativity? But these insanely quirky movesets came at the cost of balancing characters. For example, Kira has a moveset completely comprised of unblockables, and one of his supers allows him to turn back time and regain large amounts of health. While the game was fun, flashy, and interesting enough to lay upon the eyes of thousands of FGC tournament watchers, it didn't have the competitive balancing to be taken serious by top FGC players, and it didn't have the full support from Bandai Namco to get the game slotted in tournaments. So the game slowly died and it lay dormant, locked away. It's almost a direct parallel to Dio in the end of part 1, waiting patiently for its time to return. And here we are. This game has been revived, but not even that does it justice. It's been revitalized, reworked battle mechanics, and character balances all the way from the ground up. There's actually a quote from Zig Ziglar that I want to share to you, okay? The quote goes something like, "Try to look at your weakness and convert it into strength. That breeds success." So we're all wondering, will this bring success? Can the remaster succeed where the original failed? And to be honest with you, the answer is not in the hands of the developers, CyberConnect 2. The answer is not in our hands of the fans. JoJo fans are going to do all they can. This long-term success that will be granted upon this game can only be earned by their publisher, Bandai Namco, the evil villain. The villain as strong as Thanos, the villain as evil as Sephiroth, the villain that is just as destructive as Frieza himself. The greatest villain in all of reality. Bandai and Bandai alone can permit CC2 to work on a tournament and a spectator mode. Will they push and advocate and spend the necessary money to get the game pushed into tournaments to keep the game running? I think at this point we've all heard of the parallel universe theory. The theory goes something like, in our reality, there exist multiple different alternate universes where it could be something as simple as you maybe slept in 1 hour later one day, or you were born a female. Completely endless, millions, trillions of different universes. And out there's a universe where Bandai Namco supports this remaster to its full capacity, allowing it to be the all-star we know it can be, and its success as a competitive fighting game only matched by Fighter Z could act as a catalyst and set an example for all anime related licensed games moving forward. Also, there is the universe where Bandai is absolutely the Bandai Namco we all know. They don't support it. They don't give the devs enough funding and enough control to be able to do what they want to do for this game to succeed. The unfortunate reality is this game most likely might not get pushed into major tournaments attracting new players. This game most likely isn't going to get a tournament and spectator modes that might not seem important to people, but content creators and tournament organizers will tell you it is a godsend for keeping a community alive. Only time will tell, I suppose. But I gotta thank everyone for making it all the way to the end of this video. If you truly do love this game, I will be covering it further. I just want to try a little documentary essay type style video. Please hit the subscribe button. I'm trying to get to 1,000 by the summertime. I love ya and I'm out. Peace.